Welcome to the Hamble River Loop. Our adventure starts in Bursledon, a small village just north of Hamble. At just over 6 miles long, this short hike is perfect for a 2 to 3 hour afternoon walk. A gap between the houses reveals the river, our destination down in the distance. I'm not usually a fan of road walking, but the quaint and varied village houses made for a pleasant stroll. But still, it was a relief to be finally out on the trail properly. And of course, no matter how many days in a row of sunshine we have, there's still muddy puddles to dodge along the way. After another small area of a few houses, we head back into the trees and begin to ascend up into the outskirts of the next village. It is once again a hot, humid day down on the south coast, so we look forward to getting out into the open so we can feel the breeze. After a short time of following the fence on our left, we crossed the train tracks that brought us into Bursledon. Finally out of the trees, we crossed the road into a wider open field. Surprisingly, we spotted a few wild ponies grazing, but we were happy to leave them alone as much as they were happy to leave us alone. We press on across the grassland, but eventually decide to have a bit of a rest. Now from this point on, the more astute amongst you may notice there's quite a bit of difference in my gait when filming, i.e. I'm limping quite a lot. And that's because just after our last stop, in the very literal sense, I fell down a rabbit hole, rolling my ankle quite badly in the process. This unfortunately led to me walking like I had pooed myself for the rest of the hike, like so you won't see many of those walk past shots either. Now for the curious amongst you, I am going to show a photo of the aftermath, but fair warning, it's really not a pretty sight. So if you've not had your dinner yet, look away in 3, 2, 1. Now I know I'm a bigger bloke, but I promise I usually have an ankle. Back to the hike. We reached the edges of the village of Hamble. My daughter, never missing a trick to have a quick bit of fun, has a go on every last bit of playground equipment as we pass. Just before reaching the village centre, we passed the church of St Andrew. Usually we'd be up for exploring, but not today. We descend down into Hamble High Street, a beautiful area lined with many pubs and cafes, also handily leading us directly to our ferry crossing. Before that though, some well-earned lunch. Just as a heads up though, if you do ever intend on using it, the ferry crossing over to Warsash only accepts cash. We found this out the hard way and had to hobble back to the top of the high street to withdraw some money. Still, the crossing is a pleasant one, especially on a calm day like today. I have used it before in awful wet and windy conditions too, and it was fine, so it does seem to run no matter what the weather. As the tide is so far out, the ferry has to moor next to the seaweed covered slipway, rather than the little jetty as usual. Not ideal on an increasingly swelling ankle, to be honest. But oh well, we press on. This side of the river makes for a very pleasant walk. The only regret we had is that we didn't time it a bit better to complete the walk whilst the tide was in, as the trail itself would have been surrounded by water on both sides. But as the tide was out, we could at least see the various wrecks littering the river. The sun begins to peek through the clouds. And right on cue, my daughter spots somewhere she believes will sell ice cream, so of course she runs ahead to scout out the building. Mission successful. Reaching the lower Swanwick car park means we've nearly completed our loop. Just one last busy road to walk down to come back across the river. And then a couple of residential roads, and we're back at Bursledon train station. Please do consider liking and subscribing, it really means the world to us, and thank you for watching.